Welcome to today's video. Well, with the onset of the coronavirus, many people are having to work from home. So in this video, I'm going to share 10 top tips for effective working from home, and they will cover three main areas. Firstly, it's just around daily routine. So try and keep your routine as similar as possible to what it was when you were working in an office environment. I'd recommend, getting changed, getting dressed for work, just like you would normally. It's a good tip and something you'd probably heard around interview training. People often say if you're having a phone interview, for example, prepare just as if you were there in person, dress up, as you would. It helps you get in the right mindset. It also provides a clean break between your kind of morning routine and your family home time versus right now I'm at work. Having said that, I'm in a hoodie. So what would I say about that? I would say dress as you would normally dress at work. If your attire is more relaxed, if you work for a great startup like UiPath, where you're looking at more innovative things and you're less worried about formal dress code, then dress as you would. If you're into a more formal dress code in your workspace, I often find dressing the same way at home is effective. Tip number 2 is around meals. So do stop for breakfast, lunch, etc., just like you normally would as well. It's very easy when you're working from home for all those things to blur into one. So make sure you have a breakfast as you normally would in the morning, maybe a coffee, and then in terms of your lunch routine as well, stop for lunch because it's easy to just carry on going sometimes. Next is around things to avoid. So I've got 4 things that I think you should be avoiding. Something I struggle with is around snacking and food. So when you're at home, it's very easy to constantly be eating. The food is available far more readily sometimes. And what you should really avoid is having something that, is within arm's reach, where you can just reach down and grab an endless supply of snacks and food. If you must do this, try and put something in there that's kind of healthy, that kind of makes you feel a little bit better about yourself and also avoids you putting on too much weight. Number 2 is around extending hours. Again, both at the beginning of the day and the end of the day. It's very easy when you're working from home to be working the instant you wake up or working late into the evenings. Try and set the same hours as best you can. You do have some more flexibility because you're home. You are able to do little parts of your day where you can go out and do an errand, for example, and come back. And if you want to catch that up later in your day so you complete your overall hours, that's a good practice. However, avoid things going into your evening. And the reason this is really important is because it's so easy to allow you to do that, to slip into that behavior of your hours extending, because there's no natural end to your day. There's no natural, okay, I'm leaving the office and going home now. So especially when you first start working from home, this can be a trap to fall into quite easily. So do try and set a specific endpoint where you're going to shut down. You're not going to look at your work again until the next day. The third thing is just a reminder to not stay stuck indoors all the time. Now, obviously, with the coronavirus and things, you may be self-isolating. There may be medical advice in your country to stay indoors. If so, stay indoors. If not, I'd recommend you explore the outside. Even if it's a few minutes of time you get to go outside, maybe walk to the local shop or even step out into your garden or any balcony or any outside area you have at home, or even just opening a window, getting some fresh air in, getting some sunlight in, getting some vitamin D into your body as well is really important to having kind of a balanced approach. Fourth thing to avoid, which might sound a small thing, but is quite a major one actually, is the social aspect of work, right? Part of engaging and working in a team is about interaction. And to interact effectively, you need to often talk about things outside work or, just having that social interaction. It will be something you'll miss if you're used to working in an office environment and now you're at home. So when you are on calls and you are talking to people, there's nothing wrong with like catching up with someone, talking to them, having a call, just like you would if you bumped into them somewhere in the coffee machine at work. So try and keep that interaction with your teams going, and don't try and avoid the fact that people maybe are all working remotely to prevent you from interacting. Video conferencing tools like Zoom, WebEx, they're great nowadays. We use Slack as well. You can easily interact with people still. Just reach out and don't be shy. Okay, so the last area I want to talk about, probably the most kind of less interesting area, but still important, very important, is your actual kind of technical work setup. So I'd recommend, if you're one of these people like myself who's using a laptop for the majority of their work, invest in a docking station. Get a docking station for your laptop, get an external keyboard, get an external mouse and an external screen. It will really help you in the long term. It's better for your posture. It's better for your eyesight as well. You're not squinting at a laptop screen. But it will just give you a more office-like feel to your work experience, to your working environment. So I'd recommend go for the things like wrist rests and things like that, just out of good practice. And then also either 2 screens if that's what you're used to, or a large screen. However, and here's the little bonus bit in this video, if you are working on a very large screen, like I've got here, for example, where you're running a high 4K resolution on one single large monitor, you will come across a challenge when you share your screen with those who are not running such a resolution. But fear not, this is where UiPath can help you. So I built a very basic automation that is triggered by 3 key presses on my keyboard. I do shift, control and down, and the little robot will kick off and drop the screen resolution back to a normal HD resolution to allow it to be much easier for me to share my screen when I'm on a WebEx or Zoom call with those running, not a screen like this. Also, the other way around, just to flick it back up again, I'll have a little shortcut again, shift control up to maximize the resolution back up to full resolution, just to, after the call's done, to work the way I want. Why did I create an automation? Because I found myself doing this same repetitive, mundane thing again and again and again. So that's a little bonus one for you. Let me know if you've got any automations yourself that you've built to help make your working from home life better. So those are my top 10 tips about working from home. Let me know in the comment section what you think works well for you and what your top tips would be. Thanks for watching. Hit a like on the video if you found it useful and subscribe to the channel for more videos around automation.